Dear brothers and sisters, today we need to reflect upon God's law in comparison with human traditions. I know most of us, if not all of us, we read the Bible, which we believe that it is all about God's laws and principles. And it is one book that is making us to see and reflect upon who is God for us and what can we do if we follow His laws. And of course, we heard this morning again that Moses gave statutes, God's laws, to his people. These ordinances or precepts from God, they are commandments to the people of God. And of course, Moses, he begs them not to alter any from what is given to them as Torah or God's law, so that they can live and see the promised land. I think that part can work also for us, that we are not only here on earth to do our own will and to end here, but we want to see the face of God one day. And if we truly believe in that, let us therefore read the scriptures, God's law, believe in them, so that one day we shall see the promised land. What is our promised land today? It is heaven. It is where we are all heading to. And of course, we are pilgrims here on earth. Our journey, bit by bit, should be strengthened by God Himself. And there is only one way that we can be assured where we get our strength from: by reading God's law, by keeping God's law, by believing in God's law. Law, in other words, is our guidance. Once we misunderstand or misinterpret God's law, we are misinterpreting our journey here on earth. We were baptized, we became Christians, we said yes to Jesus many times, we said we love God, so therefore, in doing so, we need to assure ourselves that we believe in the scriptures, we know the law of God, and we live by the law of God. And of course, this law of God is praised here by Moses and should be held up high as our priority at all times. If we believe in that, let us put the law first. Let us follow the law first. Then us behind, we walk this journey of faith, for we have been promised the land, the heavenly kingdom, where we need to be at the end of everything. And maybe that's why the second reading is teaching us something today, that it's not only the law that we need to know and keep, but also we are to put it into practice by the way we serve one another. It's faith that is put into action. If we say that we know the law, we believe in God's law, then we are to put it into practice by the way we believe in it. Of course, St. James says, visit the orphans and the widows in their affliction, in other words, look after the poor, the despised, and the lonely. We are working for our faith. We are putting God's law into practice. Of course, in the Old Testament, as it is, orphans and widows are a good example of the hopelessness, defenseless, and oppressed. So if we do that, we are at the service of God. If we visit them, those who don't get visitors often, if we share whatever we've got with the poor, giving them an ear is something great. You may not have something tangible, something material to offer them, but just the presence that you are there for them, you are praying for them. That is the best service that you can give to the people of God. You are somehow putting your faith into practice. Stick with the poor if you want to be rich in the eyes of God in other ways. Stay with them. Be poor yourself, as Matthew tells us, Matthew chapter 5, that blessed are the poor in spirit. If you are poor in spirit, you will always desire God. You will always be for God, and by God's law, you will conquer everything. And of course, Jesus tells us in the gospel that he is rather against the idea that people reject the law of God and cling to the human traditions. People pay so much attention to the appearance and fail to fix the inside or the spiritual life that they should be paying attention to more than what is there to be seen by people. Yes, it's good to look nice, to be seen as somebody who's clean and so forth, but also we need to pay more attention to the inside part of ourselves, where everything is nourished, where everything begins with God. So therefore, dear friends, it's unfortunate sometimes that we pay so much to the outside world and fail to look, to nourish, to pay attention to the inside part of ourselves. Some of us, we can even arrive late for masses because we want to look good, to look nice, to look nice, so that people may see and notice us. But what about the inside part of it? At least what you should be preparing as you come for Mass, it should be something first that you cleanse your heart, you clear your mind to think straight, you prepare body and spirit for Mass, for praising God, for going to the house of God. The rituals, sometimes, yes, we believe in them, our traditions at homes, different cultures, different traditions, as we know. But how many of those bring us closer to the kingdom of God, to God Himself? If they are somehow pushing us away from the kingdom of God, we need to change them. That is why those who have studied, especially in culturation, say to us that our cultures need to be baptized. Our traditions need to have a Christian element in them. In other words, they must not become our barriers to see the kingdom of God. Yes, we believe in them. We've been brought up by our parents and great-parents. But nonetheless, let those things do not keep us away from seeing the face of Christ. Remember Psalm 19, verses 8 to 12. It reads thus: "The law of God is perfect, refreshing the soul. The decree of the law is trustworthy, giving wisdom to the simple. The precepts of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The command of the Lord is clear, enlightening the eye. The fear of the Lord is pure, enduring forever. The statutes of the Lord are true, all of them just, more desirable than gold, than a hoard of purest gold, sweeter also than honey or drippings from the comb. By them your servant is instructed, obeying them brings much reward." Amen.